Hello and welcome to Recitation 0. I'm Yujo and I'm going to go through Conda environments. Conda is a tool that helps you manage Python versions and their installed libraries. It allows you to install different configurations of a set of libraries without interfering with each other and not affecting your home system. It is a very useful tool if you want to do machine learning tasks because for different repos, there might be different requirements on the Python libraries, and Conda is a tool here to help you to make sure that you can host different configurations for multiple repositories while not having a problem on your system. Yes, let's get started. Conda is a tool that works in a Unix-based terminal. So if you are using Mac OS or Linux, then you can just use Conda, install them directly in your terminal. But if you're using Windows, because the Windows terminal is not a Linux-like terminal, you have to either install Anaconda, which is a software that helps you use Conda in that software without interfering with the Windows system, or you can install Windows subsystem for Linux, which is the one I recommend here. You can go to this official site and look at how to install it. It should be pretty straightforward. And once you install it, you can run CMD and type WSL. And if you've installed it correctly, it should pop up a Linux terminal, and you can try out those Unix commands there. It should be working fine. And if you want to use Conda with WSL, just do it right here, as if you're doing it in macOS or Linux. In order to install Conda, well, I recommend using MiniConda here because it is the most convenient one to install and use, and it is definitely enough for its course. You can go to its official site to find the instruction of installation, and so this is the URL. And if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, you can see there's instruction orders for three kinds of operating systems. And if you're using Mac OS or Linux, just follow the corresponding one. If you're using Windows and if you're installing WSL that I just recommended, then you should follow the instructions for Linux. And that's basically it. So this is what you should do here if you're using WSL, is you copy this kind of stuff, these instructions, go to your home directory and just execute them one by one. And it should be downloading something from the internet and installing them. And once you finish running these experiments, make sure to restart your terminal. And if you see this kind of like parentheses space, close parentheses stuff, it is an indication that you have installed it successfully. And this actually means that you are not currently using the Conda environment code base. Once we have Conda installed and working, we can now try some most important Conda commands that you might use. First one is a Conda environment list. What this command does is basically lists all the Conda environments that currently you have installed on your system. So let's do this here. And so this basically tells us that there's currently four environments installed here. The first one's called base, second one called IDL, third one called CB, fourth one called Python 3.8. And so the second command here is a command that allows you to create a new environment by specifying its name and the version of Python you want it to have. And as an example, this environment here means that I want to create a new environment with the name called IDLF24 and a Python version of 3.10. So let's try this out. And it might sometimes spend some time downloading dependencies, and it should be fine. Yeah, now if we inspect the list of installed environments here, we can see this one, the new one we just created. And now with this command, conda activate with plus the name of the environment, you can now activate the environment, copy paste this. Yeah, so you can see this the name inside the parentheses changes from base to IDL F24, which means that you actually activated new environment here. And similarly, if you want to deactivate this environment, you can use this command, conda deactivate. Sorry. See that your environment changed back to this default base environment. And lastly, if you want to remove this environment, you can use this command just in case that you made a mistake. I want to come all over again. You should use conda remove name with the name of the environment dash dash all. And this actually means that you want to remove all installed libraries and dependencies under this environment specified by the name. So we can make sure that you completely get rid of it. And I'm not going to show it here because I still want to use this new environment for a bit. But this is all basically the commands with Conda that you might need for this course. If you have any questions or if you want to know more commands, you can just go Googling or asking chatbots like ChatGPT or Gemini, or you can go to this official site and see a complete list of information on the commands that you can use. And but I would say that these are the 5 most useful ones. So after knowing how to create and activate a Conda environment, let's see how we actually use them. So let's activate the environment I just created and run Python. And so this is like a common Python redirected shell. And there is a library in Python called NumPy that allows you to mess around with array operations and math stuff. And this is also the library that you're gonna use a lot in your homeworks. And I think it does not come with Python by default, so you cannot actually import it here. So we have to install it. And the good thing with Conda environment is that you can just install libraries as it is using pip, like without the environment. So after we install this, run Python again, and we import NumPy. It works now. So let's see, say Python NumPy ran 5.5. Never mind. That's just should give me a array of 5.5 with random numbers. And so why do we need Conda environments in this case? And the reason is that if you are gonna install some library that is going to interfere with a library that you are installing currently, but you do not always want it, the solution will be creating a new environment in Conda, like what we just did, and install library one without having to uninstall a lot of things that is interfering with that library. This is very convenient if you're running multiple repositories and they can have really messy requirements. Yes, this is basically why Conda is very convenient to use and why you want to use them.
So for part one, you might write code in .py files using the scripts, while in part two, for the Kaggle competition, you will need to use Google Colab notebooks instead. So scripts are .py files that run code from start to finish and are good for automating tasks, while notebooks like Google Colab Notebook allows you to run code in cells and see results right away, which is helpful for you to do the testing and do the visualization of the work. So this is a homework part two I did last semester about face classification and verification. What I want to share you is that like this, you can clearly see what the data looks like here by doing the visualization, which might be really helpful for your work. Thank you so much.